respected DG, Dr. Reddy and other dignitaries and friends. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and also apologies because I couldn't come because I have some Finance Commission commitments over the whole of this week. So first thing is the first positive impressions about NIRDPR were from Mr. B. N. Yugandhar and from Mr. Alag. Not in the context of NIR. When you talk to them, they said NIRDPR was at that time it was not, PR was not there, the thought leader in area planning in the 70s, where even then Planning Commission, which used to look up to NIRDPR for help. That is the vision. So when you present all this, it means somebody dealing with it should come and ask you, we want it. Not as an agency, but to help them. That is the ultimate vision. Later, in the 80s, when Rajiv Gandhi was pushing Panchayat Raj, again he relied on NIRD for doing bulk of the work. And in 90s, I know, when the state finance commissions were being set up all over India as part of the constitutional amendment, people looked up. The state finance commissions, the only institution at that point of time which they could look up to was NIRDPR. So getting that kind of leadership is what is required. And having been in Government of India in the very same sector and looking after NIRD for 4 years, I know that what is expected from Government of India is both ideation for some new ideas, and much more is how to improve practice. That is where our contribution is. Not what livelihood is, how to make a livelihood program successful. That is what a bureaucrat or minister or anybody, state or central government, they are looking for, and I'm sure you have it. Then what could be the entry point for NIRDPR? I've been closely associated with NIRDPR for more than 25 years, because in Kerala, I looked after rural development continuously, barring 3-4 years in between. And since 2012, continuously. So I know your strengths and weaknesses. Of course, I don't want to mention the weaknesses now. But entry point could be social audit. Social audit is expanding. I've been in the social audit circuit for a very long time, since 2005. There's hardly any institution which can provide the thought leadership, bring all the stakeholders together, and it's still a work in progress. So that is an area where you can really get it. The other is Panchayat Raj. Though Panchayat Raj itself is more than 25 years old, it is still, particularly after GPDP, it is becoming more and more mature. So, and it's multi-sectoral. Possibly everything could be done under the rubric of Panchayat Raj. And you have a very strong Panchayat Raj center. So that is a huge opportunity now. Lack of expertise in most parts of India, barring states like Kerala, Karnataka, West Bengal, to some extent Maharashtra. There's hardly any expertise, and they are looking up. So that's the area where they will really look up to NIRD for help. We don't know how to prepare. Please help us. So that is something which I thought is very important. And transfer of rural technology. Incubation and transfer of rural technology was, again, I forgot to mention, a traditional strength of NIRDPR. Now, but then I think it got plateaued. There's a huge opportunity to revive it, particularly in agriculture, allied sectors, MSME, for the livelihoods. So that is a big area, and you have a very good base on that. Then new areas like space applications, appropriate construction technologies, and the latest thing, which is most important for rural development now, is that your climate change and local action for climate change is being thought about, discussed, but hardly, except one panchayat preparing it, I have no evidence of anybody trying to do climate change at the local level. It requires a lot of scientific effort. It's not a conventional planning kind of thing. And the local economic development. Constitution mentions economic development and social justice. The local economic development is extremely difficult. After 25 years of decentralization in Kerala, I don't think we have been able to do something. That local economic development of jobs which are required for the people. Of course, poverty they have been able to do. And that is also in the modern knowledge economy. Huge possibilities are there. And how do we really get it and do it? Then, of course, MGNRGS, for want of time, I will not get into this thing. Then what fiscal decentralization, which is again a challenge, which has been mentioned by all the finance commissions, down from state to the local governments, is an area which NIRD had a traditional strength, and I think you can easily come back. Now I'm a part of the audit advisory board of the CAG, and 3-4 days there was a kind of a discussion. The audit divas was being celebrated. Secretaries of Panchayat Raj Rural Development were there. So they were very happy for them, the CAG, to say they are considering a partnership with NIRDPR to get this audit of local governments, to train people and all that, which CAG institutions have limitations for doing. Then working with the states, what a state expects from NIRD is high quality technical assistance or professional assistance. You're not technical in the correct sense. And it was pointed out by my guru, Mr. V. Ramchandran, who practically wrote most of the ARC reports, that states learn better from each other than from Delhi. So this is a big advantage you have. So cross learning, brilliant work is being done, but at micro level or in between level. So that is something which you can recommend to states and get it done. For your example, this NRLM came from below, and you know MGNRHS also came from the states. So a lot of these innovations come from below, and NIRDPR is in an ideal position to do this. Then it's a very difficult task. There are a lot of good people scattered around. There are potential SR Shankarans all over India. So if we can identify them and nurture them, it's very, very difficult, not easy. You can nurture 10 people who are in the first 3 years of service into doing something for rural development, particularly at the collector, post-collector kind of thing. Then for the state, SARDPRs, I have gone to most of the SARDPRs and studied them. I find barring 3-4 of them, many of them require a lot of support, high quality support, and also liaising with the state government to improve them. Fortunately, most of them have good infrastructure and a lot of enthusiasm is there to deliver. They really are struggling, and we need to do a whole lot of work. And I think there are specific reports. And then we have mentioned it, 2-3 areas of India will require special help. The Northeast. Then, of course, the islands, Lakshadweep, Andaman, Nicobar Islands. The problems are different, and we have to do with it. And the vision I have is NIRDPR should be would serve all ministries which don't have specialist training infrastructure. There's so many ministries. Even those who have very limited kind of thing, like the WCD. So NIRDPR can take on much of the functions. In fact, many of the ministries are approaching NIRDPR to do this kind of thing. And like, for example, the Panchayat Raj, State of Panchayats report, the devolution index. And at one point of time, NIRD used to prepare the India Rural Development Report. All this are now there lacunae where NIRD can easily step in. And then partnerships with the top institutions of the country like IRMA, IIM Bangalore, IIT Delhi, IIT Mumbai, who are all doing, and local partnerships with your CGG, which is at one point of time a top-class institution for governance. Then, of course, National Innovation Foundation, CSIR, and all that. And another very important thing, they will not give you money, but they can bring you international expertise with the UN agencies, UNICEF, UNDP, UNFPA, ILO, UNEP. They want some foothold in the sense to help because their money is also limited. So through NIRDPR, you can reach out to all the entire rural development department, and I'm sure they would be willing to cooperate. And working relationship with good NGOs for social audit, livelihoods, alternative technologies, natural resource management, and all that. A new possibility where you should act, I would request the DG to actively talk to the IIT Delhi. The Prime Minister announced a scheme called Unnat Bharat Abhiyan, where every educational institution is supposed to work in a panchayat in the vicinity. But it has not taken off as it was envisaged. Something is getting done here and there. People really don't know how you can do it. And probably NIRDPR and the SARDs could bring, you can bring 10% of India's institutions into doing this. UBA will be a great thing. Something which didn't come out very clearly. Of course, Jyotish didn't complete the presentation. When I interacted with the students from Africa and Eastern Europe, they made a political statement. They said Chinese people come to us and claim a lot of credit. But in India, we learn everything. You don't hide anything. You teach us everything, whether to repair a water supply system, and we can go back and do it. So this is a huge soft power opportunity. So if you can liaise with the DEA and get all these people into NIRDPR and train them on different aspects of rural development, not just livelihoods and Narega, basically laying rural roads, repair of rural roads, all those things which less developed countries are facing with. And then they will certainly take you there. I'm sure you're still active there. So this international thing is not to earn money or name, but the soft power of India, that you can spread development all over India. Then, of course, international institutions like IDS or Cornell or Brown, you can. Then affording sabbatical to all international professors to come and do work in CDS. Of course, you'll have to take all the DEA other clearances. So I'll not spend much time on that. But one point was mentioned, repository of knowledge. So there's a lot of knowledge. Now we think everything is available in the net. No, most of the good knowledge is not available in the net. They are in old libraries, particularly relating to rural development. So if NIRD can bring them, use the technology and bring them to the entire rural development community, it will be of great, great use, including there is no history of Panchayat Raj in India. There is no history of rural development. NIRD had written some earlier versions. I'm sure we can do that because this makes us very visible. And people will refer to that hundreds of times. Students will refer to it thousands of times. That is what I thought I should mention. So you mentioned mission. I've worked in a mission and I've structured some missions in the state. What is a mission? A mission means it is a combination of Mother Teresa and NASA. On this day, we do this and we work back to the minutiae. You need 23 pages of course material, and work towards that date. But NASA mission will not work without a Mother Teresa kind of dedication, selflessness. That combination is what a mission should be, and working backwards. Then there is a mandate of MOPR, which we took 1 year to prepare. With great difficulty, talking to almost every state, every expert in Panchayat Raj, activist, civil service, civil society, and we came out with a reasonably okay document, which is released by the Prime Minister on 24th of April, Panchayat Day in 2016. Get hold of a copy, and if you can develop a mandate of NIRDPR, and then each item using some framework, you can work into the details. That is the way forward. Otherwise, we have hundreds of vision statements in government repeated again and again. But this is a vision without an action plan is not a vision. So thank you very much. Wish you all the best. I've been in touch with NIRD. Unfortunately, last 1 year I could not come, but now COVID is easing hopefully, and I can come. And I feel that I belong to NIRDPR, and that feeling will be forever. Thank you. Bye-bye.